Hey, it's Moe Ari
and Tiffany.
and you're listening to the Love Goals podcast. Before we get into this episode, I just want you to remember that every human, regardless of identity, needs these three things: belonging, authenticity, and love.
And after a decade of partnership, we've learned to co-create these things and so much more.
So from wherever you're listening, we're going to go on a journey of becoming our own Love Goals. Now let's get into this episode. You are now listening to the Be Your Own Love Goals podcast with Moe Ari
and Tiffany.
Thank you all so much for tuning in. Tiffany, I got a story about you I'm about to tell.
Oh, okay.
In the beginning of our relationship, the two of us hadn't come out as LGBTQ plus to our families. I think we were both still really exploring. These were newer identities. So we really wanted to, take our time and enjoy our relationship before we share. But I still think we shared fairly early on into like starting to figure out what was like that we were into each other.
Yeah.
And so Tiffany actually tells her parents first. Then at the end of that was pretty much all Tiffany felt like her work needed to be. And so it led to what I jokingly refer to as me becoming her little secret. I'm in no way was a secret.
Yeah.
She definitely had did the work to tell her family about who I am. But she set up these parameters. Like I'll say you set up these parameters in a relationship that were like, you can't go home and see my family. You can't come to South Carolina because you were worried that they were going to be mean to me in some way or harm me in some way. And I think you didn't really communicate that well in the beginning. So I thought it was just, you didn't want your family to be upset and things like that. And so over time, we had to have a lot of conversations about like, okay, but how do we make this work long term without this connection to your family? And your family is extremely important to you. How do we blend these families, right?
Yeah.
So we had to do that work, but it led to this running joke where I'm like, but I was your secret.
Yeah.
And I know that still pains you to talk about.
Yeah.
So I don't want to joke at your pain or anything like that, because I know that was a hard decision to make. But it brings me to this thought, like, about how many of us face disapproval from our families, our friends, and other, communities about who we are loving and who we're in relationship with. Because we may be different. We might have different identities. We are not meeting the expectations of those people in our lives. It took a lot of courage and a lot of love, a lot of strength to defy those expectations.
Yeah.
And to challenge them and to expand so that our communities could accept and receive our relationship. And I just wanted to offer this story for anybody who's listening that might find themselves at that same kind of intersection where they are struggling with acceptance from their family. I'm gonna just let you comment on that story before I even ask my first question.
Yeah, it's still something that certainly brings me a lot of pain, because I feel like I had very high hopes going into that conversation when I was like, oh my God, like I met this person that I love and I'm in a relationship with. I had high hopes of acceptance and ongoing conversation. And it was the complete opposite of what I desired. So I was like, oh, full stop. I can't experience this feeling anymore. And so, it led to me kind of dimming down, hiding myself. And I feel like I then became a secret to them. So who I was, how I had evolved. Now this is something, shout out to Jasmine. I just felt like they hadn't gotten the time to get to know me. They weren't interested in who I was, how I had evolved. And my therapist, she paused and she said, have you shown them?
A word.
Have you shown them? And I was like, ooh.
A word.
I've been I've literally been hiding myself.
Yeah.
I have not invited them. I've literally cut them off from even experiencing who I am, who I love, this relationship, let alone them being able to approve of and accept my relationship. I wasn't even showing Tiffany.
Yeah.
And okay, retrospectively, I can understand that. But in the moment, I was like, wow, what's happening? Like,
Yeah.
what's going on? And so, yeah, my comment to that story is that, that certainly is what happened. And I feel like it was my defense. I felt like I needed to not only protect you from potential negativity, but myself. And in the process, I dimmed my light, or I hid myself, and, by default, hid my relationship from them.
Yeah. Yeah. That was the first time you'd ever said, like, I think I was a secret to them.
Yeah.
So I'm still kind of with that. I'm like chewing that, probably stuck there.
Yeah.
Because I think that that's really, really powerful. Thinking about how many relationships where someone might feel like someone else's secret, when really that person that is keeping the secret is an enigma unto themselves.
Yeah.
Or a secret in some way in their own families, in their own community.
Right.
Yeah, that feeling of invisibility will just kind of like spread to your relationships.
Yes. Absolutely.
And so then in that process, it's almost like you were being taught, or you learned, let's say, to dishonor this relationship in some way. And I'm not trying to be like very like dramatic when I
know
say
what
that.
You mean. Yeah.
But you dishonored this relationship in a way, but you were learning to dishonor the relationship with yourself.
Yep.
And I think that's very painful. I can really relate to that though. Like, even in all the ways, like maybe I don't have any extreme example of that, but there might have been many ways where I might have been hesitant as an LGBTQ plus person to show up fully. And so how might I have been showing up less fully here?
Yeah.
I have to really sit with that, own that, honor that there's even my willingness to be a secret has something to do with not wanting to be seen.
Exactly.
So I think if we're being accountable and honest, there's a lot more to be said about all parts of that.
Yes.
Either that's powerful. Thank you for sharing. So my question for you then is like, for anybody who is in this space of having family, community, or others in their life disapprove of their relationship, what do you say to them? What do you want them to know?
Ooh. I would say, one, follow your intuition. I feel like when you're dating a person or in relationship with a person, you know when it feels good, when it feels safe, when it feels secure, when you are experiencing love. And so when you're feeling that and you have this disapproval, it can feel like most days like it's impossible to like exist in a space of joy when let's say your dad is so disapproving, or your best friend just totally dislikes the person that you're dating. I think that there is some solace in knowing, though, that it feels right. It feels good. And I feel like that has to feel good to you. I feel like people that love you and support you will at least take the time to get to know a person.
Yeah.
That's not to say that they,
if you allow,
that's not to say that, every single thing that a person says about someone that you're dating is totally off. But if you allow, and a person is willing to get to know a person, I think that's when you're dealing with a solid person who really cares about your well-being and really willing to support you.
Yeah.
If you are, engaging in a relationship and, let's say it's your parent and they don't want to hear anything you have to say about the person you're dating, you're inviting them to meet with them, they don't want to do that. Like there's a level of disinterest and it's just disapproval with no curiosity,
no context.
No context. It's like, what are you basing this off of?
Yeah.
You literally have no basis.
Yeah.
Now, I'm more willing to hear your feedback if you actually engage in getting to know this person.
Yeah.
And that goes for friendship. That goes for anybody that you're wanting to have this, wanting to build a relationship with the person that you're dating. So I think that dealing with that disapproval is hard. And I feel like you have to follow your intuition and you have to recognize, or at least try and be, recognize or be aware of when it feels like it's people's own stuff, which is probably when they don't want to engage or want to even be curious about who you're dating. And when it's something more than that.
Yeah.
And it can be hard to figure that out, but I think that might be a good starter, or that's at least what I've tried to do.
Yeah. I think you started and finished with the same concept of like just trusting your intuition. Because ultimately other people's disapproval can't tell you whether or not you're in a good relationship or not. Only you have to be able to figure that out. You're the person that's living it. I think sometimes we use other people as a compass for our relationships, and we can't do that. Because sometimes that is what creates the need to keep the relationship a secret, because we're worried about other people disapproving.
Yeah.
And I love that you said, like, if you know that you're experiencing love, and you know that you are happy, and you know you feel whole, and you know you feel complete, and you know you feel held and listened to, and you're not being abused, and you're not being taken for granted. Other people's disapproval could not matter.
No.
And they can disapprove and be where they are. They're not going to take away your happiness and get to live their life too.
Exactly. And I think that there's other people seeing you operate in a safe, healthy dating experience, whether they started out with disapproval. I think it speaks volumes.
I think when you're operating in a shady way, like you're keeping secrets from the people you love and this person that you love, then everybody is suspicious.
Exactly.
That your partner will be suspicious of your family. Like, are they in a cult? Like, why are you so scared of them?
Exactly.
And then your family's gonna be like, are you being abused? Like, what is happening? Exactly. Why are you so scared of them? Nobody understands the secret. And I think it makes everybody suspicious and uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And so, it's just a very dishonest way of living. And I think it prevents people from really honoring our authenticity.
It really does. And the moment that you decide, whether, I think for myself, if I would have proceeded on in this relationship or not, because of the disapproval, I would have missed out on one of the most beautiful things that I've ever experienced.
Yeah.
And I also see how I had begin to be more visible towards my family. Then in turn allowed my relationship to be more visible. They're like, oh,
you really love.
Okay. You love this person.
He really loves you.
They love you.
Yeah.
I like this.
Yeah.
I love this for you.
Yeah.
But it was then and only then that happened because I allowed myself to be visible. I was like, I'm not being a secret anymore.
Yeah.
And I mean, they never said be a secret, but that was the choice that I made. But me showing up authentically, I feel like has shown them who I am, who this person is that love me, and even further has encouraged them to do the same in their own lives. And I feel like we cannot underestimate the impact that we have on
Yeah.
our family, our friends,
Yeah.
to live our lives that are authentic and true to
Mm.
who we are.
Yeah.
It's so important. And I have seen how it has changed people's lives.
I've seen how it's changed your life.
Whew.
Gonna
Yes.
talk about people, your life. That's
Yeah.
powerful. I'm just allowing the air to like hold the
Yeah.
resonance of that.
Mm-hmm.
Some spaces you just really don't need to fill with words. There's just so much power in,
Yeah.
and as I'm filling it with words.
Yeah. You can use some words. Yeah.
I think there's so much power to that experience
Mm-hmm.
of having felt like a secret
Yeah.
while like intentionally creating that reality
Mm-hmm.
for yourself.
Mm-hmm. And you just have to sit with that.
Yeah.
Because again, it can be a very passive thing. Like, you made me feel invisible.
Yeah.
You made me a secret. But the moment I was like, I chose to dial it back. I chose to
Yeah.
not show this part of myself.
Yeah.
I have to own that.
Yeah.
I have to take accountability for
Yeah.
my role in doing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. I just want to honor now that I
Yeah.
accept that everything is as it should be.
Mhm.
Everything has always been as it should be
Yeah.
because we're on this ongoing
Mhm.
evolution of our souls.
Yeah.
And what we are here doing
Mhm.
is bigger than us.
Mhm.
You're laying foundations for generations beyond you to be
Yeah.
able to have the acceptance that maybe nobody in your family ever really
Mhm.
received.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
Absolutely.
doing this kind of work at this level with therapy, with,
Mhm.
partner and like all of the things is healing stuff bigger than
Mhm.
you.
And I've heard as much.
Yeah.
Even from my own mom, she wasn't in she hadn't come out necessarily, but she
Yeah.
had disapproval from her parents because of
Yeah.
the type of person,
Yeah.
that she had chosen to be in relationship with.
Yeah.
And she spoke about that, like,
Yeah.
within the past couple of years. It's
Yeah.
something that she had been holding on to, that I think she was able to get healing because of some of these
Yeah.
crucial conversations that we had.
Mhm. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And love really transcends so many boundaries and
Yes.
limitations. So when we
Yes.
think we know for our loved ones who they should be with, we have to really like bite our tongue,
Mhm.
really like hold that back and
Yes.
allow them to go on that journey for themselves.
Mhm.
Ultimately, the thing we try to do is protect them, like tell them what they should think, do, and
Mhm.
feel. We wouldn't want anybody else to
Mhm.
get in their head
Mhm.
like that.
Mhm.
So we really have to allow them to be on their own authentic journey
Yeah.
and become who they're going to be.
Mhm. Mhm.
In that process of like allowing yourself to be seen, which I think was at the core of that.
Yes.
That was hard when you were
Mhm.
struggling with, are they going to accept me or not?
Mhm.
And eventually you had to say, I'm going to see to it that they accept me.
Mhm.
You made it a possible reality for
Exactly.
yourself
Exactly.
versus fearing what could happen that had not happened.
Mhm.
You said,
Mhm.
well, let's go to the world as it could be.
Mhm.
They could accept me. Let's do
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
Let me see to it that they accept
Mhm.
me.
Mhm.
You can't force their hand. You can't manipulate them. You couldn't
Mhm.
control them. But you were like, I am going to show them this love so powerful.
Mhm.
They're going to be transformed by it.
Yeah.
I think we all have the capacity to do that. You don't have to have some
Mhm.
special type of relationship. Love just is powerful.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you got to be like some, you know, Instagram power couple or something like
Yeah.
that.
Right.
Really, this is about being your own love goal. So
Mhm.
wherever you are in your relationship,
Mhm.
love is powerful and it's powerful
Exactly.
to witness. It is contagious.
Mhm. And I would also like to offer that no matter what the relationship, whether it's parents, family, friends, community, spiritual communities, whatever it is, that whatever those relationships are that you feel like you need approval from,
Yeah.
if you've if you've done all of these things, and you're being visible and you're showing yourself and you're inviting them in to participate in your relationship and get to know this person, and you're still meeting resistance and disapproval, I think that those are times, I know we don't necessarily like to use the word boundaries, but I think those are the moments where you really have to be clear.
Yeah.
And you really have to make a decision about how and if you want to be in a relationship with these people, and if they can support you in your relationship.
Yeah.
If you have done all of these things, if you are visible and you're out there, you're putting yourself out there, you're inviting them in, and you're still meeting this disapproval.
Yeah.
It's time to, to really evaluate these relationships and whether they still deserve a space in your life.
Yeah, regardless of who they are.
No matter
you have
who.
to challenge them and say, like, anybody in my life has to respect, love, and honor me and anybody that I love. And I need you to do that.
Exactly.
I don't need you to. I want you to do that so that we can be in a relationship. If you cannot do that, then we can't be in a relationship as we have been.
Exactly.
And this is how our relationship is going to look. Because this is what I have capacity for. If you don't have capacity to love, honor, respect me and the people that I love, honor, and respect.
Right.
That'd be challenging.
It's
Most
hard.
people are going to get with the program without you having to go there because they're going to see this love. But if you do have to go there, majority of people are going to bag it on up. Are you serious? It ain't worth it. Yeah. I miss you. I want to be in a relationship with you. Let me see who you are.
Right. Because I think ultimately these people that really care about you don't want to see you in pain or hurt.
Right.
If they know the degree to which their behavior or, their communication or non-communication has impacted you and how you feel about them or how you feel in your relationship, I really feel like they would not operate in the ways that they do.
Yeah.
I truly believe that.
Yeah.
But we have to allow them in, and we have to tell people how to treat us. We have to say, it's not okay when you do this. I would like it if you do this. We have to call them in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We have to give them the opportunity to see us fully. We have to allow ourselves to be fully visible to them. And then go from there.
Right.
Walk the walk, talk the talk with them. Allow them to see love in our lives. Tell them who we are. A lot of times, like, you started this by saying to your therapist, I don't think they know who I am now. They know who I was when I was a teenager, but I haven't been back home, so they don't know who I am. And she says, have you shown them? I think that this is a very powerful moment that anybody has access to. Be willing to go there. This question of, like, have you shown them? It's like a powerful, powerful lesson because as you're sitting and you're saying, they don't know me. You're right. And you haven't given them the opportunity to. And something about the power that there's a power and resonance when we say to someone, this is who I am. And we declare that to them and get them right about it. Like, this is who I am. This is who I love. This is what I want. And being very clear, it takes out all that protectiveness. Our families will try and protect us. But when you stand strong in who you are and you don't seem like you're confused, they don't feel the need to have to do that. They're like, oh, you must be real. Most people will respect you for saying something. Most people are doing what they learned to do or what they thought they needed to do. So many people have learned a lot of different patterns in families. Some people act like that anytime a new person comes in. They grilling that new person. What's your intentions with so-and-so? From a negative place. And if you are not familiar with that or that's not ideal for you, then you could be very hurt by that and take it a completely different way than they were intending. They could just be doing what they're accustomed to doing. I've definitely had that experience. Some people you probably didn't get introduced to because I'm like, what for what? And they could have been hurt about it.
Yeah.
But we don't have a relationship like that. Not that I don't care about how they feel, but I wouldn't care about their opinion about whether or not we're together because we're not even whether or not Moe and Tiffany are together, because me and them are not even in relationship. We're not even in friendship or, family ship. I'm making up words now. But I think so many people have inherited these ways of being that are like, you got to prove to me this person's right for you, or you have to, I got to see it. You can't see anything for someone else. Why do we think that we can? Why do we think we know what's best for another person? You don't see, I guarantee, some of your best friends, you don't see all of their sides. When they get with their partner, they're a whole other bag.
Exactly. I believe that 110%.
I know some of y'all be throwing stuff around, cussing people out, doing stuff. And I've never seen it. So how could I tell you who's right for you?
Yeah.
And that's sometimes what we do. We assume our family member in those moments. We know any other time we argue with our family member, but in those moments we go, our family member is the sweetest thing on earth. She ain't never done nothing to nobody. This person that she's with is a villain.
Yeah.
Because we don't know them and we're afraid of you being hurt.
It's a lot of fear.
A lot of fear without trusting our family member, our friend, to make the right choice for them. Because we do not know how that family member is in relationship. But I trust that people are going to attract their mirrors. As hard as it is to get in a relationship and stay in a relationship these days, you met somebody that's trying to work it out with you if you've got a little longevity.
Right.
Wow.
I mean, I think it's so necessary to show yourself and show who you are. And, if you even feel like you have the capacity with these people that, you really have deep relationships with, literally sit down with them and say, what's going on?
Right.
Why does it feel so disapproving?
Right.
Is there something here that I'm missing? And then a lot of times, not all of the time, you might get a mom who's like, I feel like I'm losing you to this person, or I feel like they're going to move you across the country, or whatever the thing is. And you like, that's why you've been acting like this. Yeah. We could talk about that, but like,
no, listen to us right now. 99.9% of the time, if a parent is acting up, they are afraid of something.
Yes.
There is this, think about, and I don't know who I'm talking to.
Yeah.
So you may or may not have kids yet. But if you ask any person in your life with kids, if you don't have kids, they'll tell you we irrationally are afraid of random things. And you have to fight through that. You really do, or it just drive you ridiculous. Irrational. But think about our parents' generations and how much they haven't worked through, and like how many things probably come up for them that they don't say and that they're acting off of. So I guarantee if they're acting up, they're not really, being respectful of your relationship, whatever, they're afraid of something. Yes. And if you can get to the bottom of what it is that they're afraid of, it doesn't matter how they deny it. I'm fine. You're not fine because you're acting a mess. They're afraid of something. Get to that vulnerable conversation. I mean, by the time you get to the bottom of that, they should be in tears.
Yes. It's an aha moment.
It takes vulnerability though, because they might not be willing to admit that other person isn't the problem, or that your relationship isn't the problem. But if you can get to having that vulnerable conversation, you will have, really done some powerful work. Any advice before we go, Tiff, to someone who is thinking about even sharing their relationship with their family for the first time? Maybe you've not brought many people home, or you are afraid to bring people home because you've watched your family or your friends or other people maybe react negatively in the past. Any advice to them on when is a good time or how to do it?
I would say when you feel like you're ready, I think it's the right time. Like, it could be a month in, it could be, I don't know. I will say though, if you're delaying when you go, or when you see this, or when you take these next steps based on how you think they will respond, or based on them, then that's when I would question whether it's authentic to you.
Yeah.
And I would just say, just be yourself and proclaim who you are. That is the one thing that I would do differently. I would go into these conversations no matter how much fear I had. I would build up all the courage I had in that moment to say, look, this is me. This is who I am. This is who I love. And I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Now, I think that's easier said than done, but I want anybody out there listening to know how beautiful it is to witness someone else standing in who they are, especially when it comes to love and who you love and who you want to be in relationship with.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a lot of beauty in that.
Oh, wow. That's powerful. And it goes, love is universal. Yeah. So it's many directional. So like multi-directional. Yeah. So think about how in your scenario, your family could have felt like a secret. They could have been thinking, are you not proud of me?
And I think that was some of the stuff.
Do you not want them to know me? So everybody's feeling like a secret because nobody's talking about anything. Exactly. And then think about how heartwarming it is for your partner to witness your family love on you and then to be a part of that love. Think about how heartwarming it is for your family to see you being taken care of and loved well. And then them being loved and accepted and seen. So it's multi-directional. And the more we can facilitate that, the more we get out of those relationships, the richer things get. Throw kids in the mix, and it's a whole other level of that.
Don't add the grandparent title.
It's just a love fest.
Oh my God.
Yeah, our lives have evolved to a love fest.
Yes.
There are no secrets. Just a lot of love like out there in the open. And I'm like really, really grateful for that. But it's been a real journey to getting to that place. And it takes a lot of understanding, a lot of patience, and a lot of growing, meeting your own edges, looking at them and saying like, hey, for love is worth it for me to expand for your family, for you, for your partner, your future kids or not, just for your life.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you all for this heart open, compassionate conversation. This has been Be Your Own #Love Goals podcast with Moe Ari
and Tiffany.
Y'all have a great day and be well.
Bye.
If you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. If you want your question featured in an upcoming episode of the #Love Goals podcast, go ahead and send your question to lovegoalspodcast@gmail.com. Check out our website at lovegoalspodcast.com and follow us on Instagram @lovegoalspodcast. We look forward to hearing from you soon.